Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Nadine Cadell-Sapperman. I'm honored to be serving as the president of this congregation's Board of Trustees. On behalf of the board, the staff, and the entire congregation, welcome to the building dedication service of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Somerset Hills. It is a day of celebration and a day of great joy, one that has been in the making for almost 18 years. You'll learn more about our history as the service unfolds today. We do have assisted listening devices and large print orders of service. If you would like one of these, please raise your hand if you don't have one already, and an usher will help you. I'm so glad to have each of you here today to be part of this celebration. Thank you for being here. We do have some special guests among us today. When I call your name, please stand or wave. Reverend Craig Hirschberg, this congregation's Minister Emerita. Brian Gallagher, the Mayor of the Borough of Somerville. Ernest Renda, the attorney who helped us with the legal paperwork to finalize our renovation. Andrea Lerner, the district's executive director. Is Renee Farrell here? She was expected, so thank you. I'd also like to recognize Reverend Jennifer's ministerial colleagues from Somerville area congregations and churches. We are grateful for your presence and partnership in community with our ministry. At UUCSH, we encourage each other to grow in spirit, to become our best selves, and to answer the call to make the world a more just and peaceful place. Having a permanent home here in Somerville allows us to execute these ministries in meaningful ways. Following this afternoon's worship service, I invite you to join us for a celebratory reception in our newly renovated and expanded fellowship hall downstairs. We ask that the seats be reserved for those with physical conditions that make it difficult to stand. Mingling is strongly encouraged. And now, let our celebration of worship begin.
Our chalice lighting words: may the doors of this house be open to all who would enter this sanctuary, whether in need of rejoicing, whether in tears, or in song. May this house embrace, like the graceful chalice, the flame it cannot define or limit, as the heart enshrines hopes larger than its beating walls. Our candles of fellowship. We light these candles to remind ourselves and our children of our work to create a world that is fair and caring. Our congregation is a peace site dedicated to promoting peace. In this, our welcoming congregation, people of all sexual and gender identities may participate authentically and openly. Our congregation is working to create beloved community where racial, ethnic, and cultural diversity are celebrated, and where we work for justice and an end to prejudice and oppression. Our congregation is working to remove all barriers so people of all abilities may participate fully in our faith community. Our congregation is a green sanctuary dedicated to caring for our building and grounds and all places on the earth in the ways that respect the interconnected web of all existence of which we are a part. In this spirit we gather, looking toward the day when all people are inside the candle's warmth and light.
We gather today, living the blessings called forth from dreams of ancestors long past.
From across seas, down roads, and across fields they traveled, spreading good news of humanity's and nature's kinship. They offered a world made sacred through its diversity, and a unity of spirit made possible by the inherent value we each hold.
People of vision, of resilience, of faith, of compassion, of sacrifice.
Planting seeds of potential, lighting sparks of truth, sharing care and support.
Today, this congregation takes its historical place, establishing this religious home as a haven for all who seek our faith. It is a dream finally realized, whose home is a reflection of a living tradition passed down through the ages.
We gather today in celebration. We gather in gratitude to say thank you, to say job well done. We gather in faith, knowing that good intentions mixed with hope and commitment make anything possible.
This is a holy place, our holy place, built not only of our hands, but also of our hearts. Here we rekindle our heritage that informs us that everyone is holy, that each of us is blessed, and that each of us is deserving of life's goodness.
Today we dedicate our permanent spiritual home for worship, for our learning, for our children and for our children's children, for giving back to our community, for building a more loving and a more just world. From this holy place, we will continue to build our faith together.
I'm Andrea Lerner, your point of primary contact for UUA Association Congregational Life Services. Hey, there's our president, Mia Morse. Come in and sit down. I've been working with the 51 congregations in the Metro New York area for almost 12 years, and we have walked together during some joyous and some difficult times, and I'm so pleased to be with you this afternoon on this happy day. Your congregation was already 7 years strong when I arrived in 2003, and I remember my amazement and delight that this was a congregation that truly put the horse before the cart, prioritizing staffing for growth ahead of finding a building. I believe that having a full-time minister and educator was the most strategic thing you could have done for your congregation. Your devotion to your community showed week after week of those years of the church in the van, setting up in your rental location. Your care of the community through the Giving Network was exemplary. So I have had lots of occasions which I have held you up as a model congregation. The stewardship of your congregation is outstanding. Your solid member pledge levels are just one example that your participation here is a cornerstone of your lives. Your affiliation with the Unitarian Universalist Association is very strong. You're an honor congregation. That means you have been fair share through the annual program fund for every year of your existence. Not all congregations can say that. So, thanks. This fulfills the covenant that you formed with the other congregations in our association when you joined the UUA and pledged your support. In the same way, your members join your congregations in order to move their personal values out into the world in a more effective way than they can do as individuals. Your congregation moves its values out into the world by joining with 1,000 other congregations to help repair our broken world. And as exciting as it is to be in this wonderful, gorgeous, accessible building, I know that no building can contain the spirit of your community, because that resides in your communal heart. I saw a minister last week have a big ugly cry on a pulpit. That might happen. So, the UUA and the Metro New York District has also been here for you, so you know you are not alone. We helped your sister congregations of Morristown, Plainfield, and Summit organize as they established your congregation. We helped provide some funding and hired Craig Hirschberg as an organizing part-time minister. She and Jim Phillips wrote a UUA grant to provide full-time ministry to this congregation. We have supported the congregation in times of ministerial transition, knowing that it is sometimes through difficult times that congregations reach full maturity. You've participated in the Growing Stronger program with fellow consultant Mark Bernstein for 3 years, meeting every 6 months and working on goals. If you're on that team, please raise your hand. Giving me time to blow my nose. There you go. Oh, you got $13,000 in Metro New York Chalice Lighter funds from your fellow congregations toward this very renovation. And finally, we share your joy at this remodeled building, and particularly your decision to wait for the dedication until all could participate. So I thank you. My sister was a tireless advocate for the rights of the disabled for nearly all of her 78 years. She would be so happy to see that this congregation had done this. She was shut out from so many activities and places in her life. She would remind us, we had 8 of us, so she would remind the 7 siblings that we are all only temporarily abled. Most of us in our lives are going to need that elevator. So thank you. And so, as your representative from the Metro New York District, its Board of Trustees, our wonderful President, Mia Morse, and the UUA President, Peter Morales, it's my privilege to bring you greetings and congratulations on the occasion of the dedication of this beautiful building that will serve as the congregational home of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Somerset Hills. Thank you.